Hi everybody, this is my 7th video blog, and it is my goal to make this one as succinct as I can because this was the one where there was more activities or information or whatever you want to say than any of the other ones so far. Additionally, I think I was probably supposed to do this before spring break, but I'm a few days late, so I apologize for that, but it was a very valuable experience, and I will go on to tell you a little bit about it. I went to the administrative meeting, which happens once a week, just before spring break, and that, as I'll tell you shortly, addresses Standard 4 primarily by collaborating with faculty, and collaborating with faculty more so than any of the others listed here. And I will list the functions that are applicable as I post the video. Okay, in this administrative meeting, first and foremost, I want to say that I felt really important by rubbing elbows with all these highly critical people, crucial people, I guess is what I should say, of the day-to-day function of the building. As you can see here, most of these people are very important. We just went through in this order. The calendar is something that's talked about each week. The athletic director, I should say activities and athletic director, was the one who talked about this, and he, I found out from this that it's the kind of thing that is taken for granted by a lot of stakeholders and students and probably even faculty, that everything that goes on has to have some kind of administrative attention. So if there's a play or a musical or a pep rally planned, or the school is hosting the ACT, or there's a basketball game, or whatever it may be, there has to be some kind of leadership or building leader who is involved with this for not just supervisory reasons, which I'll get to in a second, but because there has to be someone there that's responsible. After this, we went into supervisory, which was the associate principal, and he just touched upon basically all the things that the activities director talked about, but he wanted to make sure and did some double checking with all the other administrators about who was going to be there to help supervise the pep rally or the ACT, or who, because if there's ever questions, there's got to be someone in charge or someone who knows the answers to all these questions, and that's going to be someone in an administrative position. Building concerns, the head custodian talked about some of these. He talked about some of the things that would go on over spring break and some of the things that would go on, more long-term projects, or longer projects that took longer, I guess I should say, that might take place over the summer. Campus police, this was really interesting to me, and I'm from a small town. I've said this a million times because I guess part of my personality is just that I'm really proud of that, I guess. We didn't have campus police at the school that I went to, so it's not something that's brand new to me, because at Junction City, where I taught previously, we had campus police. There's campus police at Topeka High, but they were talking about different things, kids getting in trouble for this or that, and this is not a time that it was just rumors and spreading gossip or anything like that. These were legitimate concerns, threats of violence from one student to another, perhaps. There's been a problem with marijuana being on campus. Kids leaving during lunch, which they can, it's open lunch, but to go to certain houses around the neighborhood to drink or smoke pot or do other drugs, which to me is just mind-boggling, but that's a whole other topic, I guess. So he's the one that went on for the longest, and I shouldn't say went on like it's, that carries kind of a negative connotation, or however you want to say that. It was very interesting, and these are very legitimate things, but the head SRO, or student resource officer, is the one that took more time than any of the rest of these people listed, and that kind of speaks to some of our clientele, I think, unfortunately. The next person was the head of special education. Some places call this the Exceptional Student Services Department now. To be quite honest, I don't know what Topeka High calls it, but when I left Junction City, they started calling it ESS, I suppose it'll take a while for the term special education to be, or to go by the wayside, I guess. They just kind of gave an update similar to that the social workers did. The head of the social workers came in and said a few things. Counselors, I don't know if there's a head counselor, but a representative, I think, each week will go in there. This one talked about the role for teachers and administrators in enrollment coming up and things like that. Finally, the curriculum coordinator talked about state testing and AP testing, which will take place a little later on. This was awesome, I thought. And you know, I suppose if I'm an administrator for 50 years or whatever, these kinds of things, you know, the novelty will wear off a little bit. But it was really neat to go sit down and listen to some of this stuff, because these are the people that have not, I don't want to say just the most power, but they have the most responsibility. And it's kind of cool just to sit there and have them all, I mean, look at the list of these people. Have them all sit down and work together as a team to make sure the day-to-day, or I guess in this case, week-to-week functioning of the school is going smoothly. That was really neat. The job of the head principal, which is something, or a title you don't see on this slide, she just basically oversaw everything. I don't know if there's ever controversial discussion or anything like that in these, but I imagine if there was, that she'd be the one that might intervene, or be the intermediary. That wasn't anything that was necessary. If that ever is, I don't know. But she just oversaw the whole meeting, just kind of ran the show, called on each person. She didn't say a whole lot. She would specify about certain things in the calendar or supervisory things, and even joked about me going to have to supervise, and I tried to get her to tell me that I would get paid more. Haha. It was just a very good experience all around. So, like I said, as I post the video, I'll list the functions that are most applicable under this standard. And like I said, it was very useful to me, and I hope I get more of these as I go on.